like I'm never enough. I keep down low, slowly coming undone, yeah. I run in circles, get back, get away. But watch me try hard anyway. It's so fake, self-hate's killing me. I know that I'm not that, and I'm sick of pretending, so sick of pretending. I need to run away to not be.
It's week 7 of the NFL, and the focus is on NYJ Harris. He's the NFL's ultimate red zone back and your leader in rushing touchdowns. It's the Steelers and the Jets on Sunday night primetime.
PA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. And a glance here at their shifty mobile signal caller.
And normally in this spot, we talk about passing numbers from last week, but this time, it's all about the rushing. 3 times he found the end zone in his last ball game. He is a do-everything quarterback, and you have to expect we'll see him call his own number here as well.
Let's go now. Go.
Here's Gonzalez throwing to start the drive. Down the sideline he goes, inside the 20. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Gonzalez got his tight end. That's complete. That's Washington. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Dancing to his left. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. It's their quarterback. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Steelers put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead.
This is a great decision right here. Out of the pocket to his left, and he knows if he waits too long, the defense is going to be all over him. So he makes a decision to go and wins the race to the pylon.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So here come the Jets to take over. Led at quarterback by a man back to full health in season number 20 now. And his second one in New York, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
He'll lose a yard there. Second and 11. You look at this Steeler defense. They played really well in the win over the Raiders a week.
In the NFL, the ability to keep someone out of the end zone and also from kicking one through the post. Well done.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Alex Highsmith able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
On 4th down, here's the veteran Thomas Morstead to punt for the Jets. Back deep, Marquez Callaway. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It's fielded at the 45. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. The Steelers offense and their quarterback coming out for their second drive. He took it in himself for a touchdown on their opening drive, as that leads us to take a look at the NFL's leaders in rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. Now a first down carry for Harris. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
Here we go. Here we go. Ready?
Back to throw. Gonzalez. A spin. Breaks through the contact. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Let's go.
They'll try the right side with Harris. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Here now, 2nd and 4. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Steps away to his left. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Their mobile quarterback. His second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Steelers lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that'll make the score 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Back on the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first. Throwing is Rodgers. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Alex Highsmith able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. And they need to work to team. To throw, it's Rodgers. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Joby in for the sack. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter. As they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Now Callaway on the return. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Throwing to start the drive. Gonzalez. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives them a new set of downs. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down and a 21-yard gain. Harris. Going to take this down just short of the goal line. He got 3, but could not get the ball over the chalk. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Najee Harris, well built for work down here near the end zone. That's a nice job there to hold him up. But I doubt we've seen the last of him on this drive.
2nd and goal from the 1. Again, it's Harris. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Najee Harris, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And New York set to take the field. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I... First half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Going right back to Wilson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Forced out, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Larry Ogunjobi, that is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. Now third down and 7. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Steelers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Here comes the Pittsburgh Steelers and running back Najee Harris. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. For those
search for that patience here now. Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack. That's a step in the right direction defensively here, because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction, and that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that
breaks the tackle. Now an alley. He's got room at the 30. He's still on his feet. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Pat Freiermuth. 60 yards. And the Steelers are able to add on to their first half lead.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Boswell for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here. But with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time, because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Rodgers to throw. Throw right side, Wilson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Rodgers to throw once more. And check down, complete to Hall. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeout. Forward. Rodgers now to throw. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Alex Smith able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started over at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, where you see the final score there. Tim Patrick, well over 100 yards receiving with 3 touchdown catches. From there, we say, so long, America. Hello, England. As we head over the Atlantic to check out the action in London. And it was the Jaguars playing their 2nd of 2 in London who emerged with the victory. Brock Purdy, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. And lastly, on Monday Night Football, another doubleheader. Ravens-Bucks at 8:15 Eastern, followed by Chargers-Cardinals from the desert 45 minutes later. The highlights from the first half, all one-sided. This one got out of hand early, and now you have to wonder how these teams will approach this second half, because this one's already close to being in the bag, if it's not already. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Jets going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. So give them There on the pitch and catch, and that will bring up second down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Rodgers. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Breece Hall, 74 yards. And the Jets are able to cut into that deficit. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and it's now a 28-7 ball game. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. The Steelers offense. Najee Harris set to take over once more, and he has been a monster in the red zone here in these first couple of months of the season. In fact, he leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the side.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A big play there. 59 yards. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half that's getting this done. In a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
Extra point now by Boswell. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he returns this to the 22. The offense for the Jets ready to take over. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they looked up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Rodgers going to throw. This is complete to Michael Thomas. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards is the pickup, good enough for a Jet first down. That catch for his career is number 589, so 11 away from 600, but it also right now ties him with Hall of Famer Fred Biletnikoff.
And we remember Fred Biletnikoff well because of the way he went about his business in catching the football. And we're seeing something similar here. Someone who runs precise routes, has excellent hands, and knows how to get the ball to the end zone.
So from the 37, here's 2nd and 9. Now Rodgers. Breaks a tackle. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him the first. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
On first down, right back to Hall. Powerful running. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
They'll go again with Hall. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
To throw is Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Back to the ground with Hall. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
If you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Jermaine Johnson there to bring him down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And Najee going to have a Steelers first down as he gets this up past the 40. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Harris running straight ahead. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 2nd and 9. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. On the give, this is Harris. And it's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Now they fake the jet sweep there and a run instead with Harris. Fighting through it, he's got space. Still on his feet. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Boswell for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and then try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Throwing now is Rodgers. And the pressure gets to him again. Cole Holcomb proving too much there for the offensive line. He gets the sack.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
And they'll work with 4 receivers here on 3rd down and long. Now it's Rodgers. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time, multiple guys get to it.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense isn't going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
Well, partner, under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for the Steelers, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they dip to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles